In this next module, we're going to make a custom post type, a custom taxonomy. We're going to show how to make theme files to support them, and we're going to make a block with a custom loop to show the information in them. As you can see right here, I have an employee's custom post type with some dummy data loaded. I have a taxonomy of departments with a few departments in there and some employees added to them. As you can see on the front end, we have an archive that was created specifically for this custom post type. And we have a post template that's specific to this custom post type. If we look on this About page, you can also see that I have a block that's doing a custom loop to get the information from that custom post type. And here's our custom block with an employee grid. Over in Pinegrow, the first thing that we want to do is to define the custom post type. So to do that, I'll come over to the Projects tab, and I'm going to use my utilities.html. And again, this is just for organizational purposes. I've already created a custom post type section in there, and I'm just going to grab this first div, and this can be any element at all. It just needs to be something to hold the definition for the CPT. I'll use the WordPress theme builder, and I'm going to use the register post type action. Before I walk through all the settings here, I do want to remind you that this is good for making very simple post types, but it does have some limitations. If you want to use something complex, I definitely recommend using one of the many online generators, or you can create your custom post types using ACF or MetaBox or any other tools like CPT UI. If you're looking for an online generator, all you have to do is search in Google for custom post type generator and you'll come up with a million of them. These all basically do the same thing and they create the same functions within WordPress that you can drop into your custom.php. The one from Generate WP is very easy to use, and the one from MetaBox is also very easy to use. Just because it's made by MetaBox doesn't mean that it only works if you're using the MetaBox plugin. I'll take a look at the Generate WP one real quick. You can see right away it's got a lot of tabs with a lot of options. And that's definitely more than the options that you get here inside of Pinegrow. So again, if you're just looking for something very simple and very quick and easy to do, Pinegrow is great. If you want something more complex, use one of the generators or a plugin. The other thing that you want to be careful of is making sure that any post types that have multiple words are separated by an underscore, not a dash. The reason is because the dash will start messing with any queries that you're trying to do in a custom block. Now, Pinegrow doesn't restrict you to using only underscores, but they do show it here in the example. So just follow this and you'll be okay. But it is very easy to mess yourself up by making one with a dash now, only later to find out that you need to change everything, as well as change all your data in the database. The one big issue that I found with registering the post type inside Pinegrow is that doing this with the underscore also uses the underscore in your permalink. So if you want your permalink to be acme dash something instead of acme underscore something, you're kind of stuck, because Pinegrow doesn't have an option in here to change your rewrite rule. So basically what I found is that I'll use this for very, very simple post types, or I'll use this to create something quick and dirty as a placeholder, and then later come back and use something like Generate WP to make a more robust function. But for our demo, this is going to work just fine. So we'll start off by giving this post type a name, and we'll call it employees. And then I'll give it a display name called employees. And the display name should be plural. Next, we're going to do the singular name of employee. I could put a description in if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make this public. And then I can choose to make this either hierarchical or not. Hierarchical means that it acts like a page. If you don't check this, it acts like a post. The next thing we'll do is select the things that it supports. And this is a long list that I'm not going to go through. If you want to find out more, you can use the question mark to open up the WordPress developer documentation and get information about each of these things that it supports. For this demo, we're going to select title, editor, author, thumbnail, excerpt, custom fields, revisions, page attributes. I do want this to have an archive, and this is very important. You want to enable the REST API if you want to use the Gutenberg editor. If this is not checked, it's going to use the classic editor only. I want to use show UI as yes. I do want this to show up in our menu, and now I want to give this a menu icon. And for this, we're going to use some of the built-in WordPress dash icons. To get those, we can just use Google again to come up with the list of dash icons, find one that we want, and copy and paste it in. And I'll use dash icons business person. For menu position, this determines where it's going to show up in the sidebar. The default's going to be 20, but we may want to change this later on. And again, here the WordPress codex is going to come in handy because it has a list of all the values and what they mean. And then if I wanted to create a taxonomy in this step, I could do that here, but I'm going to create that in a separate step. So once I save this, I need to go to WordPress and do a full theme export. And now you can see on the dashboard that we have our employees custom post type. The next thing we'll do is we'll create the taxonomy for this. So now we'll use this second div that I've created, and we'll do register taxonomy. This one's super simple. There's not a lot of options, and it's very easy to do. So I'm just going to call the taxonomy departments. For post type, since I've already exported it, I can just select employees from the dropdown. And we're going to call this departments. And the singular name is department. Yes, I want this public, and yes, I want this hierarchical. Now I'll save this, export my theme again, and when I refresh, you'll now see that I have the department's taxonomy. So that's really all there is to creating a custom post type and a custom taxonomy inside of Pinegrow. It's very easy to do inside the Pinegrow builder, and it's also very easy to do with any of those third-party generators and just drop the code straight into your custom.php. Now that we have the employee post type created and some dummy data loaded, let's find out how we can create a template to show information specific to that employee post. If we look right now, I'm showing the employees category, and we can see that it's just a regular archived category that shows all the things that are in the employees post type. This archive is still pulling from index.html because it's the only archive that we have. If I click on one of these guys, you'll see that this is our general single post type. If you remember correctly, when we created this dummy data, I added a department's taxonomy and put some people inside those departments. What I'd really love to be able to do is to show the departments along with those people inside of both the archive and inside of their single template. And to do that, we're going to come back to our old friend, the WP hierarchy. So looking over here, we have our single post page template, and that's normally going to be pulling from single.php or index.php. But since we want to use this for a custom post type, we're just going to create a page called single dash the post type name .php, or in this case, because we're doing it in Pinegrow, is going to be single dash post type .html. So inside Pinegrow, we come back to our projects tab, right click and say add new page, create an index.html, and we're just going to call this single dash employees .html. We'll right click on it to open it up in the code editor. And then just like we've done for other templates, we'll go to that starter folder, open up single-employees.html, copy the information, and paste it into Pinegrow. Now we can go over to our tree view, click on the root HTML element, and configure this page for WordPress. And again, just like before, since we named this single-employees.html, we don't really need to do anything, but we'll choose export as. We'll scroll down to custom post types where it says single-posttype.php. And I'll just name it exactly what I want it to be. Single-employees.php. Everything else will leave the same, and we'll save and export. And now when we look in the project tab again, we'll see that single-employees.html is being exported as single-employees.php. Now, if you compare this side by side with the single.html, you're going to see that they are pretty darn similar. The only real difference is that we've changed categories to departments. But let's go ahead and add all of our actions back in here as practice anyway. So starting from the top, we've got our main div, and this is going to be our site content. Below that, we're going to have our loop. So we use our show post smart action. Don't need to make any changes there. And inside of that, this is going to be our post title. So we're just going to call that post title. Next to posted on publish date, we're going to change this to post date. The anchor for our author is going to be our post author. For our header tags, we're going to put a conditional on here that says if has tag, and the anchor will be our post tags. There we go, our post tag with the delimiter of a colon and a space. For our categories, that's going to be another conditional that says if in category, and then we're going to say if it's not in the uncategorized category, we'll show that. And for the anchor, this is going to be our category list, departments list. And again, we'll use the colon and a space for the delimiter. For the thumbnail, we'll use another conditional that says if has thumbnail. And then for the image, we'll scroll back up again to the top and we'll say post featured image. And for this, I'm going to use the medium large image. And then we want the content of the article. So I'll select this, and that's going to be the post content. And then last but not least, we want to put our sidebar in there. So we'll grab this div here, and that's going to be our reusable template part of template parts dash sidebar. Okay, let's save this template, export our theme, and now we'll visit the site. You can see that we're still using the same index page, but when I view any of the employees, we now have the new post template. As you can see right here, we have departments instead of categories. And if we click on one of these departments, it'll take us back to our index archive and show us just the people who are in human resources or marketing or any of the other departments that we had listed. Just like we created a single template for the employee's custom post type, I also want to create an archive template for it. So once again, coming back to the WP hierarchy, we can see our archive page would normally go to index.php, and that's exactly what's happening right now. But if we want an archive specific to a custom post type, we just do archive-theposttype.php. I'm going to close some of these pages just to clean up the workspace. And we'll right click and say add new page. And I'll call this archive-employees.html. And again, we'll come over to our starter files, grab archive employees, copy it, open our new file in the code editor, paste it all in, and come back to the tree view, click on the HTML element, page settings, scroll down to find our archive-posttype.php, and just rename that. Save and export, double check things on the project panel, and there we have it. Now again, this is going to be very similar to what we have in the index.html, with the big difference that we've added the department and the category list there for the departments. So let's turn this into a template. Just like before, we're going to add a site content, get header, get footer. Then below that, we'll add a loop, show posts, and that's going to be our main loop. For our page title, again, we're going to use the archive title as a custom function. Custom code, we'll use the archive title. And I did hear from Pinegrow that they're adding the archive title as a WordPress action in an upcoming version. So hopefully we won't have to do this custom function too much longer. We've got our two images here. One of them is going to show as a default if there is no featured image for the article. The other one's going to show as the article featured image. So we'll select the top one here. And I'll just refine this to thumbnail. And we'll say if post has thumbnail, then set this to the post featured image, medium size. And the bottom one, we'll say if post has thumbnail. If it does not have the thumbnail, we're just going to leave it as this image. Next, we'll come down to the article title, and we'll select the anchor. And for the anchor, we're going to use post link. And inside of that, we have our heading, and we'll use post title. We'll come down here to the department list, and we'll say if in category, and we'll say that if it is not uncategorized, then our anchor is going to show our category list by doing post tags and categories and selecting the department's taxonomy with a delimiter, of course, of :space. And below that, we've got our excerpt. We'll just assign that to the post excerpt. We have our pagination. We're going to use our reusable template part for pagination on that. And then below that, we've got our sidebar. So we'll use reusable template part of sidebar. Save, export. And when we refresh this, you're going to see that it's still showing a department that has a big typo in it. It's still showing the index template. And that's because right now we're showing the taxonomy. We're not showing the custom post type. So as soon as I switch over to the employee's custom post type, we're going to see the new template that we created for it. And right away, you can see that we made a mistake. And that's because when I set up the loop, I forgot to tell it to use the repeated loop item in the correct place. So we'll come back and fix that real quick. I'll just select my loop element. And what it was doing is actually repeating this entire thing over and over again for each item that I found in the loop. Instead of doing that, I wanted to repeat everything inside of here, which is our card. So I just select my loop and say repeated loop item is going to be this list item. We'll save, export. And once again, we'll refresh. And now that looks the way we expect it to. We have the links that take us to the posts. And when we click on departments, we can see an archive that's filtered down to the departments. This is really going to bother me. So in Pinegrow, I'll come back to utilities. I'm going to find that taxonomy. And let's just fix the typo and save it. And export. Just so I don't have to see that typo anymore. There we go. Let's check out our production department. There we go. That's much better. Department production. All right, so that's it. We've now created a custom post type of employees, a custom taxonomy for our departments, an archive template for the employees custom post type, and a single template for our custom post type.